All right, let's dive into one of the biggest questions out there. What exactly is human nature? Today, we're going to go on a little journey, a story, really, through all the beautiful, messy, and kind of contradictory forces that make us, well, us. So, first things first, what are we even talking about when we say human nature? Well, the short answer is it's complicated. It's definitely not just one thing. Think of it more like a recipe, right? It's this dynamic mix of our gut instincts, those powerful emotions we all feel, and everything we learn over a lifetime. And it's that constant back and forth between our biology and our experiences that really defines who we are.
Okay, so our journey starts with two sort of primal forces. On one side, you've got this constant push to explore, and on the other, this really powerful pull to belong.
And this right here, this captures such a fundamental human tension. You know, curiosity, that's the engine driving us outward. It's that little voice in your head asking, hey, what's over that hill? It's what gives us science and art and philosophy. But then you've got connection, which pulls us inward, back to our tribe, looking for safety and just understanding. That's the bedrock of family, of friendship, of society itself. Honestly, you could say humanity's entire story is just a big dance between these two instincts. So, this push and pull, it leads us straight into one of the oldest debates in human history. The next part of our journey is all about that philosophical tug-of-war that happens inside every single one of us. We're talking about our internal moral compass.
I mean, for centuries, the greatest minds have wrestled with this. In one corner, you've got Aristotle. He believed we're naturally good, that we're social creatures who are always striving for virtue. But in the other corner, you've got Thomas Hobbes, who had a much darker view. He argued that our main driver is just self-interest, and that without some kind of order, our lives would be total chaos. And that's what's so fascinating, right? It perfectly shows that we're capable of both incredible kindness and, let's be honest, profound selfishness.
So, here's the really crucial takeaway from all that. We aren't locked into being one way or the other. Our nature is it's incredibly flexible. It's shaped by our environment, our culture, and by the choices we make every single day. And that flexibility, it's the key to understanding the next big internal conflict we're going to talk about.
Okay, so if our nature is so flexible, what guides us? What helps us choose our path? Well, that brings us to the two powerful and, let's face it, often competing navigators for our journey, our hearts and our minds.
Let's talk about emotion for a second. These four core feelings you see here, love, fear, anger, and joy, man, are they powerful drivers. I mean, just think about it for yourself. How many of your biggest life decisions were made based on a logical pros and cons list? And how many were driven by just a gut feeling, a surge of passion, or maybe a deep-seated fear? A lot of the time, these feelings are the ones steering the ship, whether we realize it or not.
So I want you to actually pause for a second and think about this. Your last big decision, what was really in the driver's seat? Was it your rational, logical mind? Or was it your emotional core? It's a pretty fascinating thing to reflect on, isn't it?
You know, it's so easy to look at our emotions as some kind of flaw, right? Like they're the enemy of good, solid logic. But the truth is, our emotions are what give life its depth, its meaning. A life run purely by reason might be efficient, sure, but it would also be kind of gray, mechanical. Our emotions aren't a bug in the system. They're a central, crucial feature of what it means to be human.
And this brings us to the climax of our story. So you've got all these internal conflicts, right? Curiosity versus connection, virtue versus self-interest, emotion versus reason. So how on earth did we manage to build the complex world we live in today? The answer lies in our greatest strength, what you could really call our human superpower, adaptability. And it seems to happen in this amazing three-step cycle that just repeats itself throughout history. First, we learn. We acquire new knowledge, new skills. Then, and this is the big one, we collaborate. This is the moment we go from just individual survival to actually building societies. And that's what makes us so unique, right? Our ability to work together flexibly in massive numbers, a lot of the time with total strangers, all based on shared ideas. And finally, that huge collaboration sparks innovation. It lets us create brand new solutions to problems, everything from the very first cities to, well, the internet.
Yeah, and this quote really just says it all. Our adaptability isn't just about getting by. It's not just about surviving. It's about evolving. It's the tool that lets us juggle all those internal contradictions, push past huge obstacles, and completely redefine what's even possible for us as a species.
So as we bring our little journey to a close, it's pretty clear that human nature doesn't have a simple, neat answer.
It's this beautiful, chaotic, dynamic mix of all these competing forces. We're basically walking paradoxes, right? A blend of logic and emotion, of independence and the need for community. And honestly, it's that very complexity that makes us so endlessly fascinating.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Our story, the human story, is so clearly not finished. So when you think about our messy, complex nature, and you combine that with our incredible ability to adapt, it leaves one huge question hanging in the air. What's the next destination on humanity's journey?
আমাদের সাথে থাকুন। পরবর্তী ভিডিওটি দেখতে এখানে ক্লিক করুন এবং সাবস্ক্রাইব করে আনসিন স্টোরিজের অংশ হয়ে যান।